Donald Trump gave a big speech yesterday on the issue of terrorism and what he plans on doing to fight it as president. So let's look at some of his adorable moments from that speech.
We cannot allow the internet to be used as a recruiting tool and for other purposes by our enemy. We must shut down their access to this form of communication, and we must do it immediately. Immediately. My administration will not telegraph exactly military plans and what they are. I was saying this constantly and consistently to whoever would listen. I said, keep the oil, keep the oil, keep the oil. The Trump administration will establish a clear principle that will govern all decisions pertaining to immigration. And we will be tough, and we will be even extreme. Those who do not believe in our Constitution or who support bigotry and hatred will not be admitted for immigration into our country.
That last point breaks a Guinness World Record on irony. Let me tell you something. We're not going to allow people in who don't believe in the Constitution and who are bigots and who have hatred for other groups of people. Believe me, tremendous. Tremendous. Dude. Has this guy never looked in a mirror? Well, of course he has. He's Donald Trump. He has to fix his ferret head. Oh, come on, man. Donald Trump is the guy who said, ban all Muslims from entering the United States. He's the guy who said, let's deport 11 million undocumented immigrants. And remember, he's not talking about Hans and Franz. He's talking about Jose and Miguel. This is a guy who said, the Mexicans, they're rapists, they're criminals. I assume some are good people. So in other words, the majority, they're rapists, they're criminals. This is how he thinks. This guy's like, you know what? We got to get these bigots out of our country. Gotta get these bigots out of this country. Well, allow me to steal a term from Mitt Romney here. Hey, Donnie boy, you might want to look into self-deportation. How does he say that? Oh God, they're not capable of looking inward and going, And even the part about, if you don't believe in our Constitution. Dude, how many times have you gone out there and said we need to open up the libel laws to sue the media when they say stuff we don't like? That's blatantly against the First Amendment. You're banning media organizations from your campaign events. The list is endless. He has a media blacklist. Politico, National Review, Huffington Post, the list goes on and on. Right-wing outlets, left-wing outlets, centrist, vanilla, establishment outlets. He banned so many outlets. You're going to talk about the First Amendment of the Constitution? Free press, free expression. You don't believe in that. You just said the other day, this week, we need to try U.S. citizens in military tribunals at Guantanamo Bay. That may literally be the most unconstitutional thing anybody has ever said, ever. Hello, due process, habeas corpus. This is the cornerstone of the Constitution. You're like, When I'm in favor of unconstitutional shit, whatevs. You said let's do torture. Eighth Amendment protects from cruel and unusual punishment. You're advocating for violating the Constitution. The list goes on and on. I could continue all day. So for him to say, if you don't believe in the Constitution, get out. If you believe in bigotry and hatred, get out. Okay, well, we know where to start deporting people. So spare me, Donnie boy. But then look at the other stuff, too. He admits, I'm going to do extreme vetting. Extreme. He says, I said 1 million times, keep the oil. Now, hold on now. You said we shouldn't go into Iraq in the first place. You claim, even though there's audio from Howard Stern where you're like, yeah, let's go in. Who cares? But you say, oh my God, I'm against going in there. In the speech, he went from, we shouldn't have gone in, to, we shouldn't have gotten out, to, you need to take the oil. So don't go, but if you do go, make sure you commit war crimes and you steal natural resources from a sovereign country. Who says that? Like, this guy's got serious issues in the intelligence department. I know he goes around saying, I have a big brain. I have a very good brain. But this is the ramblings of a stupid person. He's been repeating this line for years now. He always gave speeches at CPAC where he said, take the oil, take the oil, take the oil. Dude, at no point did anybody sit you down and go, okay, look, let me explain to you why that is the dumbest thing anybody's ever said ever and why you can't advocate for this. Apparently, if they did, he didn't fucking listen. You can't... Who says that? Okay, we invaded the wrong country. We killed hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians. We occupied it. We made it worse because we created the vacuum that ISIS rose up out of. And then your answer at the end of it all is, as part of my anti-terrorism plan, steal the natural resources from a sovereign country. Illegal under international law, illegal under basic human decency. You know, I'm pretty sure that's not an anti-terrorism plan. If anything, that's an anti-terrorism plan. It's a pro-terrorism plan. Number one, it's you doing terrorism. Number two, you are obviously going to create more people who want to do revenge against the United States when you invade a country wrongly and then jack their resources. We become the bad guys. We are fucking terrorist pirates in your scenario, in your ideal scenario, and this is part of your anti-terrorism plan, you moron. Then he says, well, I also won't tell you my military plans. Again, I can't believe people in his campaign haven't reeled him in on shit like this. Dude, who says that? Who advertises, I'm not going to tell you what I plan on doing, but you should vote for me anyway because, believe me, it's tremendous. That's not a thing. You don't get to say, okay, look, guys, what are you, running for fucking class president? All right, look, guys, I need you to vote for me, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do because then bad people will know. So just trust me and vote for me, and then I'll do really, really great things, and we'll win again. That's Trump's argument. I'm not going to say it because I don't want ISIS to know. I don't want them to know, so I'm not going to say it. But you should still vote for me even though you don't know what I plan on doing. You should trust my judgment. Obviously, I have tremendous judgment. Just look at my skin tone and my hairstyle. And then he says, again, I can't believe he keeps repeating this, shut down parts of the internet. He said that in the debate. He said it at a different rally, and now he repeated it again in his anti-terrorism speech. I hope everybody out there understands how dangerous this idea is. This is China-style restriction and censorship that he's advocating for. Now, everybody can fire back and say, yeah, but he's just talking about shutting down shit for ISIS. You jackass, once you give the government that ability, you think a Trump administration wouldn't abuse it? And even if you say, you know what, I don't think Trump would abuse it. Would you, if you're a far right-winger, trust Obama with the ability to shut down all parts of the internet he doesn't like? No, you don't, right? You think, oh my God, that's blatantly against the First Amendment. That's blatantly against, free speech, free press, free expression. I would never let my enemies control what I can and can't see. Well, that's what Trump is asking for. Understand, this is always how it starts. Creeping authoritarianism always happens because the original argument they make sounds much more legitimate and genuine and intelligent. So if you make the argument, well, we got to stop ISIS online, we got to find ways to shut them down, nobody's going to disagree with that because we all fucking hate ISIS. Nobody wants ISIS communicating and coordinating attacks and shit like that. But once you give the government the ability to start shutting down parts of the internet, it never stops with just ISIS. This is what they said about why they need to spy. Oh, Patriot Act, we got to spy just for terrorists, though. Just for terrorists. We promise just for terrorists. Okay, now maybe a little bit for drug people, too, but we're not any more than that. Only criminals, only bad people. Okay, now we're going to set up a database and take everybody's information, including your fucking grandma and all of her metadata and what she's been up to online and what she's been up to with her cell phone. So now we're just going to store everybody's information all across the United States in this facility in Utah, and oh goodness, look at that. The original intent of just stopping terrorism was utter bullshit, and now you have an Orwellian society where everything is monitored and everything is fucking controlled. You want to give the government that much control over the internet? That's what Trump wants. I gotta fight ISIS, believe me. Just give me everything about the internet, and then I will decide what people can and can't see. And who would be surprised if he starts shutting down all dissenting media when he's fucking doing it right now by banning media from showing up to his campaign events and getting credentials because he doesn't like how they cover him.